No, oh, all right, okay, one last one from the students, anyone? Okay. So,
I was wondering, you said you were combining athletics with academics for your programs. What about, is there anything that's solely academic that helps other people? Or I know they mentioned young men, what about young women? Or is it only based towards like athletes and academics, or academics and academics?
Well, within the Amar'e Stoudemire Foundation, there's a few different branches. One branch is for the athletes, as far as the youth athletic program. The other branch is the education portion, which we're looking to build an academy for high school children, boys and girls. It just happened to be when I wrote I'm an author of 3 books. I wrote 3 children books, and so the books are various from the ages of 8 to 12 for young boys. And the reason why I wrote the book for young boys is because in America, the young boys between the age of 8 to 12 are the ones who are starting not to read. They don't want to read anymore. They want to be cool now, you know. And so the reason I wrote these books, I wrote 3 cool. I wrote 3 cool children's books for them now to, you know, try to translate, you know, the coolness with also reading and try to keep them engaged with reading. So I mean, there's multiple branches of the foundation. So I mean, there's a lot of situations, you know, where young girls in poverty that doesn't have the proper, or haven't been taught the proper mannerism or the etiquette or how to carry themselves as a young woman. So these are areas that need to be addressed, and this is all considered education. You know, so you know, these are areas from the foundation standpoint, branches that are being talked about, and we're trying to help.
okay, let's see, if the mic, so if you can come over here, please.
Hi, my name is Ira Kirshner. Judaism strongly stresses the importance of tzedakah, charity, and tikkun olam, something that many communities started to do, which is fixing or correcting the entire world, not just our own communities. I wanted to know if your Jewish heritage had played a part in your obvious love of philanthropy and charity, both within your community and around the world.
Absolutely. It's funny because it's just a natural makeup for me. I mean, even for the people who are not Jewish, or they still have a passion for charity efforts. And so for me, I was always this way. I was always a leader. I was always teaching my friends that I hang out with. We always gave charity. You know, we always hug people when they're down or sad. It's just something that I was just in my genetic makeup. You know, so. But again, you're right. You know, with the Jewish culture, it's a part of it's our obligation to give charity.
So as someone who was drafted to the NBA at 18 and is now so passionate about promoting education, I would love to hear some of your thoughts about the fact that it's a rarity in professional sports, and especially in basketball, for people to actually leave college, and the role models are less and less likely to actually attend college in basketball, for example. Do you think that that's a problem? Is that something that you're combating, or is that something that you recognize as sort of reality?
Yeah, because I was drafted from high school to the NBA, so I actually skipped college and went straight to the pros. And there's so many great philosophers, teachers, educators who never got a college degree, but are extremely intelligent. So even if someone doesn't have a college degree, you can't underestimate the intelligence that this person has. But at the same time, by going to college, it does give you somewhat of a fast head start. You know, it gives you more you put the pedal to the metal. You know, you get to where you're going a lot faster with education by attending college, because now you have a class you have to study for, you have to teach. You know, a slogan with the Amar'e Stoudemire Foundation is, when you learn something, if you're teaching me something, I'm going to learn 10% of what you teach me. But if I go and teach someone else, then now I'm learning the 90% of what I'm teaching this person. So that's where the each one teach one slogan comes in, because once you teach me the 10%, I turn to teacher, I learn my 90%. And that's how you learn. So again, that's a great structure. And college actually helps you get to that point a lot faster.
Okay, another question?
Hi, I'm Brad. I go to Michigan State University. And next time you play Detroit Pistons, maybe we can shoot around. But I was wondering how, I think it was asked earlier, but how Judaism affected your life, and any advice you have for a young Jewish student like myself trying to make an impact on the world?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you study the Torah or the Tanakh, you're gonna always understand how to become more of a charity-driven person. I mean, it's in the book, you know. So when you're studying that, then now it's naturally in you see. And so, from a young man like yourself, you have a long life in front of you, you know. So there's no rush. Continue to study, continue to read, and understand what your passion is and what you're passionate about, and then go after it. Get a group of guys with you who believe in what you believe, and you guys go after it.
Asking the wrong
Hi, Amar'e. My name is Istas. I go to school here, and I'm Israeli. And I wanted to ask you, because I can tell from everything that you're telling that you find non-government action and charity a very important tool for the eradication of poverty. I was wondering, what are your thoughts on actual government action? Whether do you think that people like you, celebrities, superstars, people that have great amount of influence, whether or not they should use their statute to promote government action, government initiatives that eradicate poverty or aim at eradicating poverty, whether it is the Affordable Care Act or any other legislation or other kinds of government initiatives that aim in that direction. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the government does a phenomenal job. Wherever you are, the government will always try to create initiatives to enhance education. You know, and so whenever this opportunity is placed in front of you and you have passion yourself to enhance education, then why not support it? Because you have the same goal, you have the same mindset. You're trying to cure poverty. Well, I'm trying to cure poverty through education. And if anyone has a passion for education, then I'm gonna help them and be with them as far as that's concerned. I'm not a politician, you know, so I don't get into the details of everything. But when it comes down to the charity efforts of being able to educate, then I'm all the way in.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a couple of more questions. Okay.
I am actually a staff member here at Rothberg, but it's research on international development. So my question is, what a lot of people speak about in the field is the hierarchy of needs, and there's food, clothing, shelter, and water, and all those are obviously good for education. So I'm just curious what your, I guess, inspiration was to start focusing on education and then water, and how you incorporate cultural sensitivity.
You have to be able to embody, you know, all those attributes, because when you're speaking upon education, that's such a huge platform. Whether it's applying water to these tribes who don't have fresh water to drink, whether it's building an academy, you know, there's so many areas of education that's needed, and so when you have that such a broad spectrum, it allows you to be able to do whatever you want from a charity standpoint. I mean, you can build water wells, you can save trees, you can save the animals. All that's education. You know, that's I mean, it truly is. And so that's the way I look at it.
Hi, my name's Laura Valve. I actually worked for the American Friends of Hebrew University back in the States, so it's a pleasure to be with you today, so thank you for your efforts. Now, all your work while you were here in Israel during this time, what are your plans to engage and educate people about your work in Israel and Hebrew University once you're back in the States?
Yeah, it's a great question. My first goal is to make sure my team here in Jerusalem become a big-time team. But secondly, it's just again, is to raise the awareness of the needs around the world. I mean, that's truly what the goal is. And when I return back to the States, I know all my friends and executives, everyone, they're going to want to hear about what's next. You know, what do you have for us to do now? I want to do more work. I want to do more charity. And so now, being here with Youth University and being able to make these certain connections and being able to help a multitude of people, so now we can now brainstorm more. We have more to talk about. We can study and build more, and now create great programs that can help a multitude of people.
Hi, my name is Drew, and since you did get to the NBA at such a young age, were there any older players that kind of took you under their wing and encouraged you to get involved in charity work and kind of showed you the way? And also, now that you're a distinguished veteran, are there any young players that you're kind of encouraging to get involved in charities and kind of trying for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I was drafted at 18, and so I played with great players. I played with Shaquille O'Neal. I played with Steve Nash. I played with Penny Hardaway. I played with Jason Kidd. I played with so many great players. And so, as a young man myself, only 18 years old, going from a young student with no money now to an NBA player with all these funds. And so now, these veteran guys will also say, you know, how do you feel about charity? Like, you know, what are you passionate about? And so from that thought process, I started to now think about it myself. And it took me about 3 years to kind of start my foundation until I was 21. So it took me a few years to truly think about, you know, what I'm totally passionate about. And that's how it came about. And you're right, I do also encourage young rookies to start to think about it now, about their foundation work and what type of charity they want to get behind, because it's very important.